Hello, Taz in Santa Rosa, California. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Matthew here with free prescription lenses. I too hope that's how you pronounce that. I'm new to this game. Anyway, I'm going to cut some prescription bifocal polarized lenses with a back surface Crizal anti-glare coating for your RayBan 2132 color 622, which is the matte black rubber in the 55 eye size. Let me go ahead and take all the stuff out as I receive it from RayBan. Of course, your Italian leather RayBan case, your RayBan frame inside of a plastic bag, and your RayBan cleaning cloth with junk mail, because you just don't get enough. It's still alive, it's trying to squirm away. You just don't get enough junk mail in your regular mailbox. So this is how the rubber frames come, inside of a little plastic bag. It's the only ones that do that. Of course, it comes with a little G15 sticker on the lens, and it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together while they are being shipped from Italy. Of course, I'm going to put all that on there, and you will receive all of the manufacturer's original packaging, including this RayBan bag. Okay, so I'm going to pop out your original lenses, your heavy glass lenses, and I will put them on the counter. That is what glass sounds like. And I'm going to install unbreakable, lightweight, bulletproof lenses instead. So I'm going to take your frame, clean the inside of it with my thumb. That's how you know, your best cleaning is always with your thumb. Sometimes I use my pinky. Only because I'm a professional. It's hard to tell though, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put the frame into the tracing element of my edger and hit start. Gentlemen, start your tracings. So this little stylus is going to pop up, and it's going to go around and trace the inside of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipts have my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Now, the Taz did upgrade to a line style bifocal, and he upgraded to polarized lenses, and he wanted the anti-glare coating on the back surface, and I said, okay, I'll charge you for it. So, let's see here. Your pupillary distance. Your distance is 63. We always use the near PD, which is 3 millimeters less, because in a bifocal, as you look down, not only do your eyes look down, let's do it like this, they converge together towards your nose. So they do about 1.5 millimeters, so I'm going to put 30 in here. 30, and the bifocal height of, oops, I forgot to write it down, 18. Can I get an 18? And we're going to do 18 there. We're going to drop that down. This is a line style bifocal. I'm going to change this grid. There's a layout you don't see me use very often. Now these are your lenses. Now one way you can always tell whether lenses are polarized is if you have a known one, that is. But when you put them two together, hopefully look at the fluorescent lights through the lens. You can see through the lens. You hear the term polar opposites. When you rotate one lens by 90 degrees, it goes pitch black and blocks all the available light, because polarized lenses block glare on a horizontal meridian, just like the wings of a plane, a flat surface. And when you rotate that off the 90 degrees, it blocks all the light. So let's begin, shall we? I'm going to take your right lens, place it on the platform. Now this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while I'm not making horsey sounds. So I need a double-sided adhesive sticker to attach this to your lens, of which I've got 2 right here, as we say here in the dirty South. I'm going to put the black side is the sticky side, one of the 2 sticky sides. Stick that one on the first block, place that one on the platform. Do the same thing for this block. Now on the back is a little silver button. It's going to do its job twice tonight. The first job is going to attach itself to something magnetical in the arm. I'm going to pull the paper away to make the second side sticky. Line that magnet up with the one in there. Now you can actually see the line. Oops, that looks weird. You can see the line of the bifocal. I'm going to lay that out in my chart. Make sure that it's lined up between these 2 spaces. There are 2 different widths for a traditional bifocal. Get everything lined up there perfectly. check the PD, check the seg height, and hit start. The arm comes down and places the block onto the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the non-right lens. It's okay if you want to call it the left. I think I know what you're talking about. You won't lose me if you say that. Pull the sticker away to make the black side sticky. Line up that magnet with the other one. Get everything lined up in there perfectly using that grid. Actually, I do want to check one thing. We're good. We're good. We're always good. And let's see, make sure everything's lined up there. Corner, corner, space, 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 space. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now, this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own, set it on the kitchen counter, then you won't need this guy anymore to make lenses for you, and I can stay at home and cook. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing now, working out in the garden, picking stuff to cook. So, the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's a heavy grit wheel that's going to act like sandpaper to grind down your lens material till it's the final size. This wheel in the center that has that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel onto the lens, so it goes inside the bevel of the frame. So let me take the right lens. I'm going to let the magnet do its job a second time tonight. It's going to hold it in place into the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to wake up the computer. Where's my little stylus? Look, it's getting worn. I'm going to have to go up on my prices so I can buy a new one of these. You know, without this, could I do that? Oops, see? Nope, yep, see? Yep. No, that's why I got to use one of these. So these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that. I'm going to, because they're polycarbonate, I'm going to cut these on the soft cycle, which is 2 green stars. How dare I ever use 1 red star? We're going with the 2 green ones. I do not want to polish the edge of your lens. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface, the convex surface of the lens. I only want to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. And I'm going to hit the green start button. The door closes, the clamp shuts. And the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the lens that it is cutting. And then the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once is measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which your prescription in this frame, you will have none, nada, zip, niente, 9, low. You got that? Okay, so your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. In fact, I'll prove it. You see how there's no water spraying on the lens? You see light flickering in the background? Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Now you will see water spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle to wash away the optical debris that you see beginning to form on the edge of the lens. Like that. So, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. Your lens is bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you have to reapply every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun in Santa Rosa, California. Oops, I didn't roll it. Santa Rosa. And to show you what the sun can do to your skin, look at that. Do you see how red and pink my skin is? I was at the beach and I was out there just a little bit too long without any sunscreen on. With my complexion, I didn't think I could burn. Well, guess what? I can. So here's a unique thing. When you sent me your prescription, yours was written by an old school doctor and is using what's known as plus cylinder. See how there's a plus in front of that number? There's a minus in front of this, the CYL, which is the cylinder, which is your astigmatism correction. Years ago, they used to put astigmatism correction on the front of the lens. Now they put it on the back. When it was on the front, it was a plus because it was front. Now it's on the back, so it is a minus. You got that? You're going to be tested on this later. So, remember high school algebra where you tell your algebra teacher, I'll never use algebra on my job. Well, Taz, darn you, you're making me do it. So, I have to transpose your prescription. I have to add the +1 1/4 to the -1/4. That gives me +1. I change the sign from a plus to a minus. That number stays the same. Then I change the axis by 90 degrees. The original axis was 105. You subtract 90 because it only goes up to 180. So I can't add 90 to that and go over 180 or I bust, just like in blackjack. So I'm going to subtract 90 from 105 and I get 15. Now your left eye, start out at -1 plus 2 1/4. I add 2 1/4 to 1, or should I say I subtract -1 from 2 1/4. That gives me +1 1/4. Change the sign from plus to minus. Change the axis by 90 degrees. So again, I would subtract 90 from 95 and that gives me 0.005. Your bifocal strength of 250 stays the same. All right, you're gonna get tested on that. Open up the chuck. Thanks, Chuck. Get a paper towel, dry off your lens. Every lens dried by hand. Every lens is mercury free since 2022. It's also hyperallergenic, low in sodium, low in carbs, low in good humor. Hey, I'm working on that. All my jokes will be guaranteed funny starting in 2022. Okay, so I'm going to take your right lens, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner using my thumbs. Press down at the nose, it snaps right in. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the unright lens, which we will call the left. That's Latin. I'm not sure what it stands for, but I think it means not right. So I'm going to place that into the chuck. It is on the left, and I'm going to hit the green start button. I should have used the stylus. It's going to get jealous and wonder why I never use it anymore. So, just like before the door closes, the clamp shuts. It's starting to trace the left lens. You can see as it's going around tracing that shape. The old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel. So you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, of which, what did I tell you? You got none, Mr. Taz. Senor Taz. So, when I was talking to Taz on the phone, which is not his real name is Tazzy, but I dropped the E, just, you know, Taze. No. And I was asking him about his bifocal strength, and I was guessing at his age. He's actually younger than me, which most people are. But he had his cataracts removed, and that is why there's a higher amount of bifocal strength needed. He had a lens, actually did not have the lens implant, and which is the crystalline lens, which is like a trampoline. If you can imagine springs going out in a 360 degree radius, the crystalline lens is what is in your eye, and that's what changes in shape as you look at something up close. And because after his implant, or after his crystalline lens was removed during the cataract surgery, he needs a stronger lens because his eye is just not capable. Those springs are not pulling, tightening, changing the shape. Actually, it's the springs going around the edges, if you will, like on a trampoline, that is changing the shape of the lens. All right, you're bored. You don't want to hear any of that. Not even Taz does. So I'm going to put it in the axis wheel to 105. Just kidding. I'm going to put it at 15. Let's spin the axis wheel to 15. Put your lens in. Read the power. And I'm getting +1. That is 4 tick marks. I'm going to check your astigmatism correction. We're going from +1 on a numerical wheel to -1 1/4. So, and we're going to end up at -1/4. Remember high school algebra? You have to subtract unlike signs. You start out with +1, you subtract 1 1/4. Let's use today's terms. You had $1 and somebody managed to borrow $1.25 from you. You would be 25 in the red. That's exactly where you are, 1 tick mark away from 0. So you have 2 curves on your eyes. You have one curve in one direction, which is +4 steps of far-sided correction. So everything is in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4, and so on. You have 4 steps of curvature going one way. You have an additional 5 steps of astigmatism correction going another way. So if you can imagine one curve here, the other curve, oop, I can't do that. The other curve here, that's where it's happening. We line that up at 15. Now, Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s with the letters P and F look alike. It is the fine-tune knob. Once you have a plus sign here, your lens will magnify 4 steps to make everything the correct size. With your lenses off, everything is actually much smaller than it appears. So you put your lens on your right eye and it'll magnify 4 steps. And then we have to clear up the astigmatism. If you remember the old car radios that had just a red light on the radio, when you went around a curve in the mountains, you got a little static or the red light starting to blink. That's what we're doing. We're turning that fine-tuned knob till the red light comes on nice and crisp, and we're turning that knob to 15. Now, if you're left eye, you need 5 steps for your far-sighted correction, 5 steps of magnification, but you need 9 steps of astigmatism correction, and we're going to turn that fine-tuned knob to 005. So let's go ahead and grab your left lens, because your left lens is not right. Sorry, I promised you all my jokes will start being funny in 2022, so stick around. I'm using my thumbnail to wipe away any schwarf, any optical debris, and dropping it on the floor because of gravity. You know, when I woke up this morning, I thought the Earth's gravitational pull was stronger, and that clinches it. So, your left lens does not, oh, there it goes, there it goes. It was being stubborn. It popped right in. Let's go ahead and take the block off. Pull the sticker off. We'll stick that on the counter. Come down here, put the lens in over the lensometer. Let's check, spin the fine-tune knob to 005, which is exactly halfway between 0 and 10. That is where you would find 5. Let's check the power, and we're getting plus 1 1/4. We're getting 2 1/4 steps of astigmatism, which means we will end up at -1. So that is made perfectly. I want to check your pupillary distance, which is 60. I'm going to place the PD stick against my thumb. Are you guys even going to be able to see this? That's not going to help because these are dark. But when I place it up, the corner of this segment, the height of that segment is at 60 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. I want to check the height of the bifocal at 18. That looks good. That looks good. Well, I couldn't have done this any better if I had done this myself. Now, this is the point in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned to you that when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the United States and military bases throughout the world, but when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these will fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different, and I'll show you in just a moment. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and 3. But what I was going to say, just stop by your local shop and they'll get them adjusted for you. 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments, so just stop by your local place and just tell them if it's too loose or too tight, and they'll know exactly what to do. Although this matte black rubber grips so well, even if it was a little loose, it's hard for these things to slide. But again, as I mentioned, I'll get these in standard alignment. I'm going to press them on the counter and make sure there is no wobble. And when I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Now, I'm wearing the same frame and the smaller eye size. This is the 52, this is the 55. I'm wearing color 6144, which is the silver metallic. This is the classic matte black rubber. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing, yo. I'm going to flip these over, press down, there is no wobble, close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and that neither of them are askew, meaning that they don't line up. Check for each tension on the hinges, that feels good. So that is that. If anyone has any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website. Oh wait, I gotta clean your lens. I will be providing you with one of my wrinkled premium microfiber cleaning cloths. I test each one to make sure it cleans well. So when you get this in the mail and there's a wrinkle in it, you know that it works. So, Taz in Santa Rosa, California. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription bifocal polarized lenses with a back surface anti-glare. Maybe you can see that on there. The anti-glare is nice on sunglasses for any reflections that come in even from the sun. This is now like a satellite dish. If it was clear, the light would pass right through. Now if you get any light sources from the rear, like a satellite dish, it's reflected right to the back surface of your retina, through your iris, through your crystalline lens, of which you have one now that you were not born with. How cool is that? You're bionic. And so that's why the anti-glare coating which the back of your lens looks like the front of my lens when you see the reflection of the color dispersion from an anti-glare lens. Again, let me put mine back on. So, Taz and Santa Rosa, hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses for your RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer color 622, which is the matte black rubber in the 55 eye size. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.